It's your body. You rock it, empower it, and you take care of it. CSU Health Network is here to answer your questions. Welcome to the CSU Health Chat. CSU Health Chat is a program paid for by the CSU Health Network. All content is controlled by the CSU Health Network.
Welcome to the CSU Health Chat. With me today are Dr. Mark Benn and nurse practitioner Tanja Andreas. Thank you for being with us. We have an interesting topic today. It's something that I think a lot of college students, it's on the forefront of their mind, and it's something we kind of battle with in between finals and work. It's something that kind of tugs at us, and it's spirituality. And I think my first question is, what does it mean to be spiritual? Tough question, I know.
Well, it's a big little question. I struggle with that, but I really think it's not a matter of thinking about and being spiritual, because I think we just are. Whether we recognize that or not, or practice that or whatever, I don't think that matters. I think we just are.
It's just innate in us to be believing in things that sometimes we can't prove.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure it's as easy to define as that, but yeah, I think we are. That's my opinion.
The beauty for me around this topic for college students, and I think for all of us, especially those of us who progress closer to that end point of our lives, is that this is so individual. Mm-hmm. And it's impossible for me to come up with a definition that might work for you. Even you saying about believing made you take pause and be like, well, maybe it's not even about believing. Maybe it's just about being. Mm-hmm. But the confusion around trying to get an answer that looks stock, one that you can grab by listening to this show and say, oh, that's what spirituality is. Now I get it. I don't think that's going to happen in this short time that we have together, because I think each person needs to sit down by themselves, sort of look in their own mirror, if you will, and say, wow, this is what I think this might be for me.
Sure. And how does someone begin to explore their own spirituality? Like you guys said, we can't paint with a broad brush here. These are things that you have to feel comfortable about yourself. How does someone begin to explore their own spirituality?
Well, I think one thing that might be helpful, I have a definition I got in a class that I took a long time ago that I think is probably the best way of defining spirituality in a way, and that's spirituality is like water, and religion is like the containers in which we put water. There's many different containers, but no container holds all the water. So I think a definition there is helpful. One of the most helpful things that I've found, I think, if people are trying to figure out how do I believe or what are the kind of defining questions, is a website. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but beliefnet.com is actually a really interesting site. It has a lot of information about all sorts of topics and a little test that people can kind of take and get a sense of how they might look at this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a good...
Cool.
I love the idea of many different containers holding a very similar substance, because I think it is so different and unique. Some people find it by going to a church, some in a synagogue, some in a temple. I found it on a rock. I'm from the East Coast. I didn't know this kind of energy really existed in the universe. The only time I saw mountains like this, for me, was on a car commercial. And a lot of people went to the ocean for it, and the ocean never quite did it for me. But when I sat on a rock in Estes Park many, many years ago for my first time as a 20-year-old person, something moved through me that I had never experienced before. And I don't know if that happens for everybody, that kind of epiphanous, like, wow, things are bigger than me. I don't know what it is. I hope I can find the container for myself. I think it can come to us if you're looking for it. I think a lot of folks are looking too hard. Some people aren't looking at all, and somehow I think it's one of those things that you can't push the water down the river.
Just kind of comes.
It just kind of comes.
Sounds good. And how important is it for people to believe and to be spiritual? Is this, do we see physical benefits? Is it just something that can uplift us? Why is it so important for people to be spiritual?
I think that's a great question. Really, Matt, great question. For me, it's almost like life and death. And yes, it will help your physical health. To recognize that one moment, at least for me, is how I look at it, if that goes on forever out there, and out there, and out there, and I think it has to, because I don't know what's on the other side if it doesn't, then I'm sitting everywhere I go at the dead center of the universe. And for me, my spiritual place is, wow, how about that? Not in a narcissistic kind of way, but A, I'm littler than everything, and B, I'm at the center of it all. And I think that has led me to live a healthier, happier life, and for me, it's helped me give up worry. Because I'm a spiritual being, the universe is in harmony. I can be in harmony with it if I choose to be, and I want to choose to be, and I will practice whatever that means for me, sitting on a rock or looking in the eyes of my baby. And wherever you find it, I think you need to try and find a place to find it, and I absolutely believe it will lead to a healthier and longer life. The other piece I think is critical is that it's not about religion for me. It can be about religion. Fine, I'll take it anywhere I can get it. But for me, it's about something that's slightly different than deity-like religious stuff, though many folks find it there too.
Sure.
One thing I've noticed, and I have a degree in animal behavior, so I always just kind of watch and notice things, but one thing I really notice is people that I have been around or worked with who've been in helping professions for a long time, as many of us have now, the people I think who have the best balance and remain the most effective and seem to enjoy what they do the most are the ones who have some way of practicing whatever it is they believe. And what I've discovered is it makes no difference at all what it is, what their container is, the way they look at that, if any. Sitting on a rock is just as valuable as any other.
We're going to take a quick break. We have a lot more questions to come. This is a really interesting topic, and I think we're going to delve a little deeper and maybe get close to home here for students who are going through this college life and trying to figure out where can I turn to better understand my own spirituality. So stick around. We'll be right back.